One of the unsung heroes of a tiny home is the trailer that it's built on. The trailer of a tiny house really is the foundation of the home. It's an incredibly important aspect that doesn't really get enough attention. We've recently been getting a lot of questions about our split shift trailer that our new tiny house has been built on. And before we did the construction of this home, we had actually spent some time with the builder Shane, who walked us through some of the really important aspects of the tiny house trailer. So if you're interested in the foundation of our home, stick around, because this one is all about tiny house trailers. G'day Shane, how's it going, mate?
Good, mate, how are you?
Good, thank you very much. I am so excited to see this new trailer.
Yeah, thanks. No, awesome. Well, thank you for coming.
Absolutely, my pleasure. So, we've seen a few tiny house builds that have used your trailer designs, and in my opinion, I think they're some of the most innovative trailers on the market at the moment for tiny homes. This one here is especially exciting because this is our new trailer for our new build project, which is really, really cool. So I'm wondering if you can just walk me through the trailer and talk through with me a little bit about some of the features of this trailer.
Not a worry, mate, not a worry. We'll start up the front here. Here we've got the electric brake system, obviously 3.5 tonne rated. So obviously under here you've got the battery and everything like this, and that's obviously something you'd want to make sure that's kept charged whilst you're building on it. We have this system here is more of the wireless Bluetooth system, and we also run it with a breakaway system here.
Now with the trailer brakes, obviously they need to be controlled and adjusted from within the cab of the truck. Can you talk to me a little bit about how all that works?
So the system we have on here at the moment, it's pretty much a Bluetooth wireless system, so you can either plug it into a Bluetooth system into your cab, or you can plug it into a cigarette lighter that comes with it also. You plug it in, turn your lights on, and away you go. They're paired together. So that's a pretty awesome system that we try and use a lot. Finally from there, we've obviously got the jockey wheel. Need a good solid jockey wheel, I believe. Holds a lot of weight, that part.
Absolutely, and one of the things which is really unique to your trailer designs, which I haven't seen on any tiny house trailers in the past, and which I thought was such a brilliant design idea, was the fact that this is actually a detachable trailer from the subframe of the house. Can you talk to me a little bit about that and how it works?
Yeah, correct, yes it is. So how it works is pretty much, we have container locks in all four corners, and what we do is we have has a nut on the bottom of here, and it has an adjustment kind of obviously for tightening and loosening off. And then what we can do is we can lift it up, and that there is now disconnected from the trailer, connected to the trailer.
And that in its own right is a total game changer when it comes to designing and building a tiny house, right? Yes. But one of the things that I'm most excited about with this design is that when you're building a tiny house, you've got such a tremendous investment in the trailer. And if the house isn't one which is traveling or moving all of the time, then that whole investment is just tied up sitting underneath the house. Whereas with this design, you're actually able to lift the subframe up, and then you've got a usable trailer, which you could actually just use for hauling building supplies or anything like that, which is such a good idea.
Exactly right. Like you're building this tiny home and you need to get your building materials to site somehow. Obviously borrowing trailers is not really how you want to do it. So you can take your trailer out that you own, go and grab your building materials, come back, and now you can actually build on it, obviously away from it. We actually have actual jacking points in the trailer also.
Right.
So the jacks actually connect into the trailer as well. So you can actually now set up the trailer next to your tiny home, and you can actually use it as a building platform for when you're building, so it's level and everything like that. So it's just little things like that makes life a lot easier building.
It sure does. And when we're talking about tiny house building in New Zealand, we have some challenging regulations to work with, and most of those regulations are tied up around the weight restrictions that we have. Yeah. So can you talk to me a little bit about the detachable design and some of the benefits around building maybe some of the heavier tiny homes in New Zealand?
Yeah, cool. We don't have an awesome rating to work with. 3.5 tonnes is the maximum you can be on the road with obviously the trailer included. So yeah, with a heavier load, you can actually take it off and pop it under a low loader and then safely transport that to site whilst taking your trailer to site and then putting it back on the trailer. So you're kind of still meeting everybody's requirements that you're wanting to do there, keeping it legal.
Absolutely. Do you have any idea what a trailer like this is going to weigh?
These type of trailers, they are heavier than most standard other trailers for the fact they do come apart and they both have to work separately. But I'd say roughly around this would be, I would say between the 800 kilos.
Yeah, which is a fair whack of the weight that you can actually put onto a tiny house, but ultimately we are talking about the foundations of a house, and
Correct,
it's
yeah.
essential to get the foundations right, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. It's something you'd want to be forward thinking about anyway.
Absolutely. And can we talk about some of the safety features that have been built into this trailer?
So with electric brakes, you don't want to be running safety chains and bits and pieces, obviously, because then a breakaway won't be effective on what it wants to do.
Right.
So having safety chains on here, in my eyes, is probably, it would be awesome to have it, but then it kind of defeats the purpose of obviously the electric brake system actually working correctly. So
Right.
what we've got here is the breakaway switch here. So this would be on the back of the vehicle for any reason that it was to detach from the vehicle. This would come out, and then those brakes will come on gradually and bring it to a halt.
Great.
Then obviously plugging this back in, makes it all release and away you go again.
Brilliant. And then Jackson stabilizers here.
Yeah, cool. So all our decks, we put in a boss, they will say, and that's for our jacks to come into, and that kind of locates it in, and then we can do them on all four sides. Once you've disconnected the deck from the trailer, you can now jack it up and it comes off and you can pull the trailer out.
Great.
And then we have these stabilizers for if you're like going around, you're setting up at a place, you can detach it from the vehicle and still walk around and not be left, right and centre. So that just goes forward, you bring it out, set it up to where you want, plug it away, drive on to the next destination.
Nice and easy. And one of the great features about this as well is, of course, this is a deck over trailer, so you don't have to deal with the wheel arches.
Yeah.
Talk to me about this.
Yeah, true, very much. So a lot of the people, a lot of customers we find is they like a flat deck. They like it because you can get a little bit lower. But how we kind of go about it is we actually have our wheels come up inside the deck kind of area. So then they can actually just build directly over the top without having to build over some wheel arches, because sometimes that can be a bit character building. So yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I really am so excited about the innovations that you've put into this trailer. No doubt there's going to be lots of tiny house people out there who are super excited to start building on one of these. Thank you so much for sharing it with me, mate.
No, thank you. Thank you for coming.
For me, it's really cool looking back on that interview because it really does take me back to the very start of this project. And as you can see, we have come a long way since then. But for me, one of the takeaways of the split shift trailer, and one of the reasons why I think it is such a good option, is that this trailer, when the tiny house is parked up, isn't just redundant. I can lift the house up off the trailer and still get use of this trailer. If I need to cart materials, or one day if I want to build a brand new tiny house on it, I have that option. It turns this investment into something that is actually usable and doesn't just sit there like a lump of rock under your house. It is still a functional trailer, and I do think that that is a game changer for that reason. These trailers build in a tremendous amount of functionality, and I think that it is a absolutely phenomenal idea. If you are looking at building your own tiny house, and if you're potentially even brave enough to give building your trailer a go, or if you want to take it to an engineer and have one of these made in your area, then Bay Engineering have actually created plans that you can download where it's got cut lists, material lists, everything that you need to build one of these trailers yourself. You'll find that link in the description of this video.